everybody. Welcome to Wednesday. Should I call it Wednesday Market or Wednesday Let's Go Technology Stocks? Everything's happening. Welcome and enjoy the intro. We'll see you very soon. We've got a special guest joining us today as well. So it's going to be a good one. You know that. Get those likes going as well. It does help us out. See you soon. All right, hello everybody, and you might guess I'm in the wrong corner. I'm in the top right-hand side, and below me we have Tyrone Abella. Welcome everyone to the stream. Ty, great to have you on here. For anyone that doesn't know, Tyrone is the person that I started it all with. The whole business, the FX Evolution community, and we are now doing new segments where Tyrone's going to be joining us and taking us through his also unique perspective on the markets. Tyrone, welcome to the stream. How are you going today, man?
Good, thank you. Hello, everyone. Finally glad to meet you all. I've been in the chat rooms plenty of time, so you've probably seen my name pop up, but yeah, very happy to be part of the live stream. It's taken some convincing to let Thomas let me on, really, but here we are. So looking forward to getting into the TA before some big US news.
Yeah, there's a lot to cover. Obviously, FOMC. Look, if anyone's just coming into the stream, they're watching it even after the stream, please be aware you got FOMC meeting minutes, 2 p.m. ET, which is, of course, in America, New York time, if you need to bring it back to yourself. And yeah, FOMC meeting minutes currently matter. I wish they didn't. It would make it easier for us as traders and investors. But yeah, guess what the market's doing though, guys? US 10-year yields getting demolished. We celebrate demolishment of the US 10-year yield when we're bullish. Look at it go. But you know, Ty, I'm starting to think that there's synergies across the board here through everything. And we got the 10-year yield getting smashed. This is good for the Nasdaq. What's the Nasdaq doing? The Nasdaq is bulling out of control. 0.66% up. Congratulations, people in the Nasdaq and tech stocks. Many of you out there are. And where do we expect it to go? Well, daily 200. Ty, how much stuff gravitates to the daily 200?
Yeah, when something's confused, the 200 is the first place it goes, really. Mm-hmm. So the daily 200 is the most important. I know Thomas has probably talked to you about that a lot. So yeah, realistically, it's probably going to be the gravitational pull. And you could see it getting there fairly quickly too. Like after that big drop there, like far out, like it's pretty reasonable, isn't it? Like you don't see a big drop like that. That's not going to probably continue. I'd be surprised if it stopped here. Like you'd think the 200 would be a formality.
Yeah, exactly. You would think the 200 is a formality here, and this is going to time in with some other things as well. If we're starting to see the US 100 pumping up, it goes towards our community trend lines we'll be looking at soon and shortly, then it starts to kind of make a sentence. Now, I think PK Subbins hit the nail on the head here. It says pump at opening, meeting starts, then dump. Yeah, any meeting or any time that like Papa Powell comes out of his cave and he comes out and he's like, well, hey guys, what's up? And he's like, I've got concerns about the economy, but I'll use all the tools. As soon as he says all the tools or anything in particular, it just seems to drop the market. So that will be a little bit of a wild time. I expect the Nasdaq and the SP500 to, of course, react to at least the discussion. And then after that, we'll have to find out. But I'm excited for the US 10-year to go down to this 1.23. Let's hope it does. Because if it does, July is turning out the way that we thought it would, and then the big bears come in. The drop bears, Ty, is that right? Drop bears?
Drop bears, yes.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if you're all aware, but we have drop bears here in Australia, and they're definitely coming into the market. So we are liking what we see here, and I think that look, it's going to be a really interesting news event. Like, I don't like that the market is focused on that as much, like Thomas said, but realistically, we have to deal with what we've got, and the Nasdaq wants to go to 15,000, and it's not just going to stop it, is it?
No, I think kind of like this second trend line might be where we reach today, hit that level, little bit of pullback maybe after the meeting minutes is very probable. And then I just hope we can just hit this. And I just hope all the synergies come through, because it becomes more and more likely that as a community together, we will be correct on what eventually does happen, which is, of course, some bears coming into the market later on through this, maybe in this next quarter. All right. So the US 100 looks great early on. Nothing really wrong with this. If we go down and have a look at the trade that happened through the futures session, really it's just been doing the exact same thing that we've discussed on the channel quite a lot. We've talked about the 50 exponential being the deeper pullback, and then we started talking about the 20, and it just keeps firing off this 20 exponential on the 4-hour tie. Just every time comes down, boom, bust, boom up, boom up, boom up. It won't continue, but we know where the first problems are going to be. Pullback, closes underneath the 20, then we know it's going to go to the 50. So maybe there'll be some little bears trying to get in there, and if we breach the 50, well, we got some problems. Got some problems.
Yeah, it's going to have some problems if it closes. More importantly, if it closes below the 50, I think.
Exactly. Yeah.
And look, at some point it's going to, right? Like, we all know this, yeah. Like, it's not. It can't just keep going up. Otherwise, it's just not going to. It's not going to make sense. So we need the correction to happen at some point. But I think the target's pretty good, and I think our signals for the shorts are pretty good too. So we're very aware of what it needs to do, what it needs to break through to actually start taking it short. So I think it gives us good trades both ways, really.
I think there's going to be some really good trading coming up, but for now we're just holding tight onto those, hodling those longs if we can, and taking profits when necessary on certain stocks. I want to go over the Dow today because I think this presents maybe one of the better trades moving forward if we continue to see this strength after the FOMC minutes. We've got a key resistance here. Look at this resistance. And Tyrone, what's your thoughts here? I mean, 38,850. We breach, we close above this. I'm thinking pullback here to maybe a much higher level for the Dow is a strong play.
It could be. It's one of those ones that I'd definitely be watching out for. I wouldn't be preempting it. I think it can go both ways. This one, I think probably favorable one would be a pullback though on this one. I think I would like, it would have to do exactly what you just drew for that to work out. And I think if it did, it would make a very, very strong case to push up a fair bit higher. It's found itself at a pretty strong resistance point, hasn't it?
Just a quick one. Can everyone hear Tyrone fine? It should be fine. I mean, we're using a very similar setting to before. Can you guys hear Tyrone clearly? Some people are just saying it's a little bit quiet. I don't know if I can do that much on my side at this stage. I'll turn this up slightly. That might up it through. Yeah, this breach, 38.5. Let's have a look at the Dow. Let's DJI for a second here. Yeah, it's across the board, even on the real market opens and closes. I'm keen for day trades here from the perspective of breach, closure, movement up, and then getting that final bit. But mark my words, the more articles that we see coming through here, guys, the more articles we see coming through that are specifically about, hey, it's a great time to invest in the markets. Hey, oh man, all the hedge fund managers predict the end of the year is going to be great. And then we hit our top end trend lines. I'm not falling for it, and I don't think you should either. No. We don't fall for that here in the FX Evolution community. Absolutely not. Let's keep going, Ty, because we've got 10-year looking great for the market. We've got the market firing on all cylinders ahead of these meeting minutes. Let's move over to Bitcoin and Ethereum. And actually, I want to go Ethereum first because I think this is the one that most of the crypto community here will be following and looking at. And this is the 2400 level. Basically, we have a resistance here that's pretty critical, I think, and it instantly is finding a zone where we breach this, we close above it. 2600 seems quite likely. I like the series of the trend line coming through. I really, really, really like the 2600. I like the 2800 after that. Tyrone, I know you talk about this a lot and we always discuss it. What's the significance between these two moving averages and what it's been doing the last couple of days?
Yeah, well, look, we're starting to see the big move up now, and it's fast approaching a level that obviously is very, very strong resistance, but it's come off that base, off the 20 moving average, which is very, very significant. I mean, it's significant for a lot of reasons, not just for Ethereum. We talk about the 20 all the time, right? Like the 20 is probably most important moving average for day traders and even swing traders, really. But when it is bouncing off that, and you saw that it held up, and the second last candle that we've got there completely reversed that, and now we're approaching the resistance point with a fair bit of bull, really. So it needs to do it, though. I wouldn't be just jumping in. I think it needs to actually do it, but if it does it, you'd think that 2600 would just be the next gravitational pull. It'll just get there, and I think it'll get there fairly quickly too.
Yeah, it's explosive when it powers through. I think this one you can probably go down to the timeframes as well and try to look for the most likely. I actually quite like it on the 4 hour here. Does that look more beautiful?
Yep, it does actually. Yeah, it's got more. It looks like it's even more powerful. Yeah, it does look good there. Yep.
Key technical analysis technique that Tyrone and I use in the office. If wherever it's more beautiful, that's the exact time frame we go for. Yeah. It's exactly where we want to be. We've got a few people coming in here with some sponsorships, Ty, becoming members of the channel. We've got E. Elliott. We know E. Elliott well here. Congratulations on some of your trades recently, E. Elliott. Hope things are going well. Sponsoring now for 2 months. Thank you. And we've got H. Kelly becoming a new member for the Stonk Squad. Appreciate it, H. Kelly. It's awesome. We might even buy Tyrone a chocolate milk with that money. I think that will just afford it. So appreciate your support. Do you have it there, Ty? Are we doing a sponsored ad for
this is a sponsored ad for Barista Bros chocolate milk. It is like sensational stuff. I'm not sure if it's worldwide, but by golly, this is the drink to go for at 11 p.m. Australian time. I can tell you what.
We're not sponsored, by the way. I just think it's funny that the Ty's got it ready and he's rocking it out. Okay, so Ethereum looks really, really strong. Let's see what the community say. ETH mentions are up on the Quiver quantitative, says Miles. People are discussing it. ETH is breaking, says Cody. Yeah, this is exactly the type of thing we want to see, even price action coming into it. We've got a nice little bullish hammer here, another bullish kind of wicked candle. It's further strength. And you can just see it in the chart. That is a much more beautiful chart than the Bitcoin chart. The Bitcoin chart doesn't know what the hell it wants to do. It's confused. And I think that it's look, I still think it'll go long, and you know that this ultimately is the trigger, but it looks like ADA and ETH are the ones that are really coming through here with the goods. All right, so yeah, crypto, that's what we're looking at. XRP, at this stage, if you're looking at XRP, you've really just got to kind of go, I hope it holds on. I think it's all about ETH for the next 24 hours. And I think Tyrone would agree after looking at those charts. Is there anything here that you like, Ty, other than the ETH? No, I agree. It's too tough there.
When you're trading, effectively, you got to try and find the instrument that looks the cleanest. I mean, I know we say that a lot probably, but yeah, realistically, there's always something to trade, and you might as well be going for the one that looks the cleanest because it's the most likely to work out, especially when they're all correlated. If one goes, they're all going to go. So you might as well go for the one that looks the cleanest. There's no point trying to go with the ugly duckling. I wouldn't have thought. I don't like ugly ducklings.
No, we don't. we don't like the ugly ducklings.
Well, it's true, right? Like you look at when you're looking at very closely correlated, stocks or pairs. I always go for the cleanest looking one because it's the one that makes the most amount of sense. And if it looks clean to me, you've got to remember it's looking clean to everybody else as well. Everybody else knows what they're doing anyway. And isn't it the most important thing? We want the market movement to go with what we see. And a messy market can kind of lead to, a sentiment that could be either way. So we want a little bit more, sharpness. So we always go, and Ethereum looks like the sharpest out of all of them by far. and it's got the cleanest break too. I think it makes the most amount of sense from a trading perspective. You know exactly where you're entering.
Yeah. Yeah, Ethereum is definitely one of the best in the crypto world. We've got a question coming in here. It's not a donation, but you know I love KSM. And this is Kasama, and it is good from a perspective of it's got the limited quantity. The scarcity principle is in KSM. What do we think of this? Well, I do think that it's formed a nice base around the 160, which is where the flash crash happened. We know that a dead cat bounced super hard, and we also know that it's doing pretty much the Tyrone patented technique, which is the lightning bolt, the trough, the peak, the higher trough, the higher peak. The movement ahead over here is super significant. So I think this is going to time well with the rest of the crypto markets as long as Ethereum fires over the next 24 hours. So I would like to see a close above the 20, and I know Tyrone wants that as well.
I think we need it. I think it has to happen.
Yeah.
You wouldn't want to be seeing it rejecting off here and going lower. That's for sure.
Yeah, this is the time for KSM to come through. We've got a few new subscribers as well. Thank you so much, guys. And we have Matthew Harris becoming a member. Thank you very much, Matthew Harris. And we've got the request from David Riley for one of the favorite stocks of the community, and that is PLTR. We'll take a look at that straight after we finish up here with gold. So gold, I personally like the trade a lot on gold today. Now, I posted it in the private community in the chart of the day. I really like these kind of setups where we get a breach above a zone, and it's so clean on the 1 hour, on the 2 hour, on the 3 hour, or whatever else time frame you're looking at, where the previous resistances were. We come back down, we find a rejection, and we don't just go, oh, I love 17.95, do we, Ty, and just buy that beast. We have to be patient. And where do we like to enter these kind of trades?
On the lightning bolts.
Exactly.
We want to let it break up. Off we go, and then once we get that break of the new high, we're off and running to the races. Now, if you miss that one, of course, you've got the pullback. Most of the time, I reckon, look, if I was to put a number on it, I reckon probably 75 to 80% of the time on good trades that are worth taking, you will get that pullback to that level again. You get your second chance. And I personally think the second chance is actually better than the first one because you don't, it's more explosive after it anyway. So, and your stop loss doesn't have to be as, quite as pronounced as it does on the first break. So you've kind of alleviated that false break opportunity. It tests it from above, roll reversal, off we go. It's confirming the lightning bolt. And I think that effect, perfect trades. I reckon they were both really good trades.
All right. I've just got some other people talking about mic feedback. That may have fixed it just then. So hopefully that's got it through. This is a great trade. And there's also another one, I think, coming up where if you want to be a patient person, there's a bit of room here for gold. And that is that we close above this zone, and then we move towards the 1845 previous resistance level. 1845 probably the key area. Remember, there's multiple ways to get into trades, to get into scalps, and to get into different positions. And if we close above what was also a fairly decent rejection here, what are we saying? Decision made. We allow the news to play out the way it is. We don't know which way the news is going to go. I wouldn't have a no. I would just guess that the Fed's going to be like, we saw the jobs numbers, they're okay, but you know what? There's still concerns, so we'll talking about tapering in the future. We're not going to do anything for now. We'll use all the tools, guys. They're not going to say. I don't think they're going to say nothing. Do you think they're going to say anything?
Yeah, I think they're going to use a lot of words to actually say nothing.
Yeah. Oh yeah, a lot of words. Yeah. Yeah. So gold break close above here, then of course 1845. And I hope that does occur for a lot of people. Let's quickly scroll down here to PLTR. This is a request from David Riley. Let's see what David has to say. He's wondering whether PLTR's got any more in it. I was hoping yesterday it would fully move up here. The biggest issue I have with PLTR is it hit this zone. All right. So I was all for the PLTR community, and I don't really understand this stock. Don't get me wrong. I don't understand the valuation. I had a look over it. I don't own it, but I know a lot of you guys love this stock. It's very, very popular in the retail community. It's really has to hold here. and I don't want it. I don't even like where it is. I really don't like this at all. Like, you look at the weekly, you think about the rejection, you look at the 2 hour, and you start to think, well, if it goes underneath 24, Ty, this thing is a shot from a perspective of taking these day trades on it.
Yeah, it's do or die time for it, isn't it? Like, it's no question about that. It wouldn't want to fall any further. Yeah, like it's no. Sometimes I like do or die areas, but for some reason I don't like this do or die area. And I think it's because it's come down too far and too far too quickly. The pullback has been really, really aggressive.
If you're going to get into this, then you've got to wait for lightning bolt up. You've got to wait for double bottom. You've got to wait for actually confirmed change, because this is, as Tyrant said, too aggressive down.
And you got to look at it when you see something that drops down so dramatically. It gets past. It puts a lot of obstacles in between where you want it to go to and where you're entering. So straight up on the 2 hour there, you've got two key moving averages in front of you straight away. Yeah, that's the 20 and the 50. So you got roadblocks immediately, and that's what happens when it drops really, really quickly. That's a pretty sharp drop. I don't like it. Yeah, that's what worries me about this level. Normally, if it was a steady decline down there and maybe not as deep, I'd be probably a little bit more inclined to say, yeah, this is pretty cool. Roll reversal, happy days. Yep. I'm just a little bit more concerned. I think I'd want to see at least a 2 hour or 4 hour change of trend. And then if that happens, then it's probably going to test the highs again.
Yeah, and then if you break those highs and it goes through. Look, I always say this on the stream. Tyron and I both are in agreement in this. They're fine to invest in if you believe in them. But when a stock or when something has very little history and when it hasn't been around for a long time, it tends not to attract the trader. I know this attracts the retail investors, but it doesn't tend to act as technically as you may think. And that's the big problem, I think, with this one. Now, we've got Starbucks being spammed on me, Ty, so we have to look at Starbucks. Well, I love coffee. So do I love this trade? And yeah, I think it was a very good one. Instantly, I see that. I see the inverse head and shoulders. I see the breach. And did I miss it? Sure. There is an argument to be said there. Let's have a look at the higher time frames first. Okay, so you're looking at weekly double bottom off the 20. There's no doubt in my mind that Starbucks is not a long-term investment. No doubt. I do not believe in the crappy coffee of Starbucks. But what I do, I don't like it at all. But what I think...
Thomas doesn't like any coffee that's not made out of his machine, by the way. Like, that's why.
I like 7-Eleven coffee. It's only $1.
He's got this fancy coffee machine, sitting in his office. He's got he likes his own coffee, but he's got very, very, very biased towards any other type of coffee. So that does play on his bias on the charts. So make no mistake. This is coming off a 20 moving average on a weekly, right? So come on, put your bias aside.
I like the trade. I'm just saying that I believe there's a sugar rush here. I've said this since the beginning of the Starbucks sugar rush. I believe there's all these little cafes in America that are starting up. People are like, you know what? I'm done with my job after the pandemic. This thing sucks. And I'm going to go start my dream of owning my own brunch store. Do they call it brunch in America? I don't know if they call it brunch.
That's fair.
You guys call it brunch?
I don't know. Is it called brunch in America?
Is it called brunch?
I don't know.
It's like lollies. Jam and jelly are definitely not the same thing.
I think we invented
aluminum, aluminium. We don't say the same things. I'm interested. Is brunch? We'll find out.
I'm pretty sure Australia created brunch, just like we created hangry. Sure of it.
What, we created hangry?
I'm pretty sure I reckon we created hangry.
Oh, okay, all right. So I know you're going to say this is a great trade from the perspective of the weekly, because there's no doubt. We love mean reversion. We love consolidation. We love closure breakout. And this is angling absolutely for the peak, which is 118.29, and it could be angling even for all-time highs. So, a little coffee shop, the mum and pop coffee shop, the brunch store, they're not going to open in one day and take Starbucks' money. And I can only imagine that Starbucks is killing it. Because guess what? In Australia, you know what they have? They spam me when I drive past them, Ty. Do they spam you out in Ocean Grove? All the McDonald's are trying to sell me coffee. They weren't doing that 12 months ago.
That blows my mind how I could be driving by and checking my phone, which you're not supposed to do, but I do. It just happens. Every time you're driving by McDonald's, you get the buy one or buy five and you get one free. How did that even happen? I don't even know how it knows, but it knows. And I'm not sure about.
What do you mean?
The app knows. My phone knows that I'm going past McDonald's and it's trying to get me to go to have a coffee.
I think that's just because you accidentally installed the McDonald's app, and you let it steal your details. You let it steal the details. Yeah. That's the problem.
That is probably true.
Activate local services, and it sends you a push notification. You know, yeah. Well, buy McDonald's shares, guys.
but all jokes aside, this is a pretty sexy trade, and I think it's done all the right things. I think it's got a very clear target to get to, and you'd probably be a brave man to back against it, wouldn't you? Despite the fact that you like 7-Eleven coffee.
Yeah, look, I think people are very correct here with this pull-off. This is a good one from Conscious and a few others. I like it. We're going to add it in to the community discussion. And we got things to cull today. I'm going to cull a whole bunch because I'm sick of a huge bunch of these things. We've got to get rid of, you know what? Get out of here. All right, I got rid of PLTR. I'm sorry. It has to go. We've added some new ones in. We've added some FANG stocks in because, of course, they're firing. But yeah, I like it up to the 118. I actually would go with taking this distance, extrapolating that out, and then going, 120 probably. It just makes sense to me. And I even love this little inverse here.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Inverse to break the resistance zone above. I like it.
It's good. Yeah. Thank you very much for bringing this one up. That is good. Tom's being targeted by the cellular towers. That's Tyrone. Tyrone allows them to steal his data. Wait, come on, man.
I'm an easy target. I'm a very, very easy target. I'm like, here, come and take my data. Just do whatever. I've got Google devices set up in our house. Thomas was horrified.
I hate him.
When he came over to visit, every room he went into, there's a Google device. He's like, oh my God, they're all listening.
I don't allow Alexa in my home.
Yeah, no, we've got Google in the house, and Google knows exactly what we're talking about all the time. And, just so you know, Kevin, no, I'm not wearing puffer pants. That's Thomas. I'm not going to pick on him for wearing puffer pants and wear them myself. So, no, I'm not wearing puffer pants.
And I will Uniqlo shares, guys.
I will never wear a puffer
jacket. Actually, do they sell puffer pants? Uniqlo?
They absolutely do.
They probably do.
And onesie, and the puffer onesie.
Yeah. Oh my God! Echo Aurora coming in with $2 Australian.
I keep calling Thomas. So you guys call him Tom. I call him Thomas.
Nah, no one really knows the real spelling of my name. Don't worry, it's okay. No one can. It's all good. Let's go through here. BBW Ty Build a Bear Workshop. This is where you could take your children in there and build a bear and pay an exorbitant amount of money bears with the little eyes. Huh?
3 of them. Every child has built a bear so far. They love it.
What, at this thing? Is this in Australia?
Yeah, damn. I think it's called. I'm not sure if it's called that, but I think it's a subsidy of it. Definitely, they build a little bear and they give it. It talks. It makes like the It says it does. Yeah, they're pretty clever.
Okay, so this was this is Build a Bear. So Build a Bear was a crazy stock of multitude. I think that's an incredible speed run. Now, if you were to go and again look at something like a Wyckoff theory, this is one of those ones that you would probably see in terms of distribution at the top, because of course you've got your false break at this stage, looking false break. You've got your heavy support. You've got your kind of resistances, which is effectively like a giant channel, and you're currently creating a little bit of a nasty coiling action here. So if we breach underneath 16, I think the Bears, the drop Bears have got control of the BBW. The BBW will have control at this point. Tyrone's probably going to agree with me on this one. If it goes back above here, what's your target become back into the 20? That is not a healthy looking chart at this stage. It just kind of looks like something that I would set alerts for underneath 16, and I would set alerts for above here, and then I would make decisions when I'm more informed about what I'm looking at.
Yeah, I think the preferred trade there is short. I like the short on it. It's a little bit messy on the long. If you get that break and test, I'd love that. That'd be sexy. Yeah, that'd be cool.
Because it was such a massive move, it makes sense to give up some of that sugar rush. that initial like, "Ooh, yeah, this stock's worth so much money," and then tomorrow it probably isn't. You know what? I'm going to add that into the short side as well, just because I wouldn't mind watching it over the next coming weeks and seeing where this thing plays out. So let's bring that in. We got Ulrich Nielsen coming in with DKK 50. Chinese stocks are hitting key support levels / trend lines. Correct. Take Baba. Its close / near the lower trend line is followed since 2016. Will there be a China pump soon? So there's a lot to unpack here. Firstly, unfortunately, what happened was they intervened in the market. We saw that with Didi. That caused a massive ripple effect across all of the Chinese stocks. Of course, they all tanked, and that was very unfortunate. If you're talking about Baba, this is what Ulrich's saying. So effectively, we have our downward trend line. We have a breach of that. And you know what? Great TA here. I still say that's great TA and great closure, and 240 should have been a thing here. And it's come back down to the previous 210 level, and it's bouncing off this zone. So if we scroll in here and through, you will see that this is exactly the time that Baba must represent with some bullish action. Is it bad? Yeah, it's not ideal, but you should be able to hold at least to the 208, this 208, 207 area, because this is where the support is. You can see it. It's happened before multiple times. We then make a quick U-turn here to the Shanghai comp. For me, it's really about this market. If the Shanghai composite can bounce off here, which is doing really nice at the moment, go above 3650 and breach above that with, maybe some more government stimulus or whatever else they choose to do, then this is the key level. And I would always be looking at it on the weekly. So the weekly is the key point that we want to be checking out here. Weekly, 3650 plus. Is the area we're looking for the closure. And I'll make it perfectly clear to you guys when we're seeing these types of closures happening on the technicals. We don't look at everything every day because sometimes it's just not at that key level. It's kind of like, I'm losing interest in oil. A few of you will probably be angry at me. Maybe even Tyrone will be angry at me about oil. But the thing is, it hit what we wanted. I mean, 76.87. I mean, does it get any more picture perfect, Ty?
No, it doesn't. I'm still angry at you about Starbucks, but yeah, I can see why.
Still crappy.
Look, people. Yeah, I know. The thing with this is, the trade it's already been there. Like you should have already. Damn, like you should have already closed it. You should have made your money on oil now, shouldn't you? Surely. I worry about it when people are calling $100. They are every day, and that worries me a lot because when they're calling that, it's going to do the opposite, and. Yeah, it's probably due. It's had a big run, and realistically, the problem with this one, and what I always am concerned about, is when a department or an agency or in this case OPEC can actually turn this on a dime. They can just say one thing, and it'll either tank or it'll explode up to 80, and that worries me a little bit. I don't like when you're trading with that at the back of your mind. It's not just on technicals at the moment. That's probably, we know it's obviously a very strong resistance now, but there are a few issues with it. And I think you could do better.
I think
just leave it alone for a while. Just leave it. Just better.
Let it chill. Yeah. So Ulrich wants me to go through and draw this thing here. So basically what he's saying is that if you draw like a giant trend line through all the bases back from 16, this is the type of area that Baba is intersecting with. And I totally agree with you. It's not, everything pinpoints this area is absolutely the zone that this stock has to start making movements ahead on. I mean, it's D-Day. It's D-Day for Baba. It must do it. And it needs to do it very, very soon. Let's get caught up here with a few others. Kay Kennedy coming in with $4.99. Hello, Thomas. Could you have a look at Microsoft, please? Do you think the run will continue? I think we need to talk about all the FANG stocks together. We'll follow Microsoft here first. And by the way, Amazon yesterday, whew, that was a wild day. I got to say, 4.69%. It beat my expectations. Congratulations to a few of the people in the community taking that breakout. Hopefully, a few people held. They were like, I'm thinking of closing now with the 0.6% gain. I was like, what are you doing? I mean, 0.6%. You've been waiting for like a million months for that thing to break out. You got to give it some love. So Microsoft is huge on movement here. This is the weekly tie. Look at this thing. I mean, weekly 20 is cool. It's breaching out. We know that the FANG is starting to fire. We also know that if we look at Apple and Amazon soon, their ones are breaking out. Does it make sense for Microsoft to gravitate towards the big 300, or is it going to stop here? Let's go back in history. What happened last time? So it went 189 and then sold off 190 and sold off brutally. That was obviously over that period in the pandemic. Let's have a look previously, 140. So Microsoft, why we're doing this is it's like price exploration. Basically, we want to find, hey, where has price been before? Has it been able to go to 100 and then sell off? Has it gone to 120 every time and sold off? Is there some method to the madness on Microsoft? And I would instantly say, unfortunately, no. we don't have any clear levels where it likes to go gravitate towards other, not even $10 levels. Look at this. Stops at 245 and sells off. That makes it incredibly difficult for us to analyze.
It doesn't care about the round number. Doesn't care.
No. And I think then we have to start talking about potentially even fib extensions. Have they been accurate at pulling it? We've got to think about all of the levels in our book. And I mean, I would say that actually was not too bad, 1618. Let's have a look here at another bigger pullback kind of period. Let's go to the weekly because we need to use decent pullbacks. So much chop in there. I mean, even fib extensions. I mean, we had one that predicted pretty close. It's all right. Is it enough, Ty? Is it enough?
No.
I don't think so.
What
would you do here?
I don't think it is. No, I wouldn't use it. I would. You know what I would do? I'd be going to the smaller time frames and waiting for that the first sign of price weakness. I think this is a very difficult one to preempt. So I would be paying a very, very close attention to the smaller time frames like the daily and the 4 hour, and probably the daily. Realistically,
it could be even smaller. What do you reckon about?
Could be smaller.
What about the 2 hour here, or that 1 hour? That thing was on a rocket. So it's kind of you know what this looks like. It looks like the Nasdaq. So
it does.
Yeah.
It's a mirror.
Which makes sense. I mean, of course, but. You know, what we're seeing here is the Nasdaq pulled back to the 50 moving average twice and then kept moving up. Now we're getting a price acceleration that's going on the 1 hour 20, 1, 2, 3 times. I think we need to start paying attention if the 1 hour 20 is breached below, and specifically the 50. The 50. Your thoughts?
Definitely. Look for those smaller time frame changes of trend. The 1 hour is the key there. Lightning bolt on the way down, break those moving averages. Then I'll be very, very fearful for the long, especially if that cascades through the bigger time frame. So if you get to the 4 hour, it does the same thing. Then I don't care what the price is above. It doesn't really gravitate to a round number anyway. We've already seen that. So this has accelerated up, and well done to everyone who's been able to capture every one of these longs, and probably a really good lesson for a lot of people who say, well, damn, how do you get involved in something that's going up like a rocket? Well, look at the 1 hour. Every one of those touches on the 20 moving average is an opportunity to get in. We talk about this all day, every day, because it works, right? And it doesn't matter whether it's Microsoft, Google, Baba, or whatever you want to talk about. The 20 moving average is the key moving average to join a trend on a smaller time frame. Every single one of those was a pullback, but that's also going to give us the information on the way down, right? And that's what we've got to be looking for. Look for the weakness, break of that line, and then we start to identify the weakness kicking in and just monitor it. But if you're long, that's the place I'd be taking profit. Until I see the weakness.
Yeah, I think until we see the weakness, we basically just keep looking at it and go with that one. Let's just quickly have a look here, Ty. We have someone coming in with some amazing gains. Congratulations. This is, let me give them a shout out. Where are they? John S. says, my portfolio is up 36% in 3 weeks, hopefully with proper risk management. It started with 18K. I'm not sure if it was proper risk management. It started with 18K during the March crash. Now it's almost 200. Oh, you're probably talking about March crash March crash this year or March crash last year? I'm wondering. Anyway, John, I want to say one thing to you. Firstly, congratulations. Secondly, please make sure to not squander what you have done. You have done amazing. I don't know how you got there, but make sure in the back of your mind, you always remember risk management. Ty, do you have words for John? We need to
Risk
give him
management
words.
is everything. We could tell you some horror stories of people who have made absolute fortunes overnight, and lost it really, really quickly. So our advice there is, well done, but yeah, make sure if you've done it with the right risk management, that's just
Yeah. I don't know if it's necessarily you, Ty. Actually, can you guys still hear Ty? Yeah, I think it's muted. It basically it's not, it's something to do with the settings on this particular one. I'll have to fix it tomorrow. There's not much I can do about fixing Tyrone's microphone right now, guys. Sorry. We'll do it next time for when he comes back on, because I think we're going to make this a pretty much a reoccurring event if you guys like it, which is really, really cool. We're running pretty far behind quite a few of these ties, so we'll just keep going, but there's no way that we can fix it. Even because I think I'm quiet and you're loud, and then the other way around, and it's not going to work. It needs a full reset. It's because of some of the hardware we use here. Dav G super chatted $9 Australian. Keen on your views on LYC on the ASX. Let's have a look at that, and then we'll go back over to some of our favorite stocks and keep covering them. So LYC, it's not bad. It's not bad. I can already see I like it a lot. Sometimes you just, when you get like kind of the feel for TA, you see things and you go, yeah, you know what, that makes total sense. This is the type of structural pattern that you like before breakout. Today it actually closed above for the first time. That's a big thing. 2050 cross here on the daily. Tyron's going to like it as well. I actually feel like it's kind of done enough today to actually justify the further. I actually feel like it's broken out. And it's mostly, a lot of people will disagree with me on this one because they'll wait for it to get past the wicks. It's totally valid. But for me, I'm sometimes a little bit greedy. And I've learned that with markets, when you're buying certain stocks and you already like the stock for other reasons, if you see a closure is the key, and you really understand the markets and you understand the series of higher lows, higher highs here, do you want it to breach above these points? Of course. But it's just kind of like Amazon. When did Amazon fire? It fired literally the candle of the closure into the next point. This one here, the closure, the highest closure we've seen in quite a long time. Next target, something like up here. Ty, your thoughts?
Yep, as long as everybody can hear me okay. I'm going to speak really, really loudly into the microphone now, and hopefully you can hear it. Yeah, I agree with you. I think it really wants to break. I love that the 20 and the 50 moving average are crossing. Mm-hmm. And yeah, if that does sustain and actually close above this slight level here, I think it really does open it up. It's amazing how many people actually trade this LYC. Like, it's actually, it's really, really popular amongst a lot of people. It's very, very traded down here, even though it's it's not really a specky.
No.
But it's very, very popular. Doing all the right things.
Look at that closure on the weekly would be massive. Closure on weekly would be massive here if it did happen. Get above, bam, there we go. All right, keep going, Dav G. Good luck.
The biggest excitement of the night is I'm back.
Lunchable connoisseur super chat $5. Ty and Tom won.
Go on, Thomas. Read it.
I'm not going to read that. I don't have the accent, just the big brain. So basically, Lunchable connoisseur, he says that supposedly he's our child. And then I don't have, he doesn't have an accent, just the big brain to make sense. Probably the same age as me. Ty, guys, thank you very much for all you do. And happy hump day. Listen to Tupac, Nothing to Lose. Maybe we'll do that after the stream. Thank you, Lunchable. Isn't Lunchable Connoisseur's main thing like, he loves Telcoin or something. H. Kelly super chat at $5 Australian. Can we please have a look at Theta/T Fuel? Man, you love that T Fuel. We'll check that out soon. Let's go through some stocks. Just keep going here. We need to power on through. We've got 45 minutes till the open, till the FOMC comes in later on today and ruins the play. Now, you guys know I love Square. Well, I love it less than I used to like it. I love biotech. But, we did get a nice daily closure yesterday. We've got long leg indecision dailies. We get a closure above. That's a big deal. And then now we're looking towards, I think the 260 target. And of course, I'm going to be very much focused in on Ethereum. Even though it's a Bitcoin traded, I think if the Ethereum market starts firing, of course, Bitcoin's going to come with it as well and all the rest. So we'll keep focusing on this, but the daily was good. Z, the old Zillow, this one still remains. We need to get above 124. We've got it on the watch list. We'll keep checking it off. Airbnb, you know what? I'm sick of it. I wanted it to breach close above 154.65. It didn't do it. I'm not saying it can't come back, but there's too many things in this list, so we're going to remove that off. We go to Apple. Apple looked really good.
It can't come back. It can't come back with their policies.
You told me to lay off Starbucks, and now you're hating on Airbnb.
Airbnb cannot come back with the policies they've put in Australia for people actually booking their holidays with all the lockdowns. Like, I'm not, look, you guys are probably not aware of the severity of our lockdowns, but we get locked down if we get 1 or 2 cases in the whole state. And when they lock down, no one gets their money back if they've booked holidays. Like, literally, they just said, no one's getting anything. People who have their houses keep all of their money. So buyer beware. So who's going to go book a holiday with Airbnb in Australia knowing that there's a lockdown potential every single week? And if there is a lockdown, you're not going to get your money back. That can't be good for business.
I don't use... Look, I think Airbnb is good with family and friends. But if you're going away with, your wife or partner or whatever, I don't book it. I book hotels, man. They're cheaper. I mean, they're just cheaper.
My only Airbnb experience was in Santa Monica, and it was an amazing experience. Like, everything was just perfect. But that was pre-pandemic, right? So I don't know how it is over in the States or around the world, but in Australia, it sucks. Their policy sucks, and they're going to lose big market share to hotels. Tell you what.
Anyway, I don't know how I feel about it, but I know it's an IPO, and that means 12 to 18 months till it comes good generally, and we should keep the policy. So Apple breaches and breaks above day before yesterday. It has a great day through it. We've been talking about this one for quite some time. Look, we've got lofty expectations, and that's because it is an ascending triangle. You can evade this by just thinking about the fact that there's no bullish close above this level. And we also were trading around this time. So I remember the news that was coming out, the iCar and all this other blah, blah. Now they've got colorful IMAX. They've got the ascending. They've got the breach and the breakout. And this is starting to fire the fangs up. So pending everything kind of works out today with FOMC, even if it comes back down to this level, I expect buyers to come in now somewhere around these two zones. If it does pull back, it should be quite a lot of power. You've angered the chat, Ty. You've angered the chat.
Yeah.
Now people are saying 170 Apple. I don't know about 170 Apple. I think we need to go back to the QQQ and the S&P. When the community trend lines are hit, we've got to be careful.
Yeah. But it is definitely an ascending triangle. No question about that. And it is breaking at the right time. So from a technical standpoint, it looks really good.
Amazon usually, actually all these FANG stocks generally fire quickly. I think you want to understand the beast. The thing about Amazon is look how quickly this thing put on, $800. It wasn't that long, a couple of weeks, and it was $800 up. Then it does nothing for ages. Then it moves up very, very quickly. Let's go over to Google to give you an example of this. Nothing, big move. Nothing, big move. What happened? Hello, Google. Big move incoming, and it's still going through. All of them are going. Google, Amazon, Apple, they're all doing a very, very similar thing, and that's where the money's at. It's the big stocks.
100%. Yeah, no, it's and they're all good breaks too. So I think that Yeah, the community trend line is the one you got to watch, and I think it's probably going to affect all these. So it'll be very, very interesting. But they look good, even from a technical standpoint. I think they've given you the entries. What I like about these ones is although they've blasted off, they've actually given you. It's not like they didn't give you a chance to get in. Like, it's not like they've come out of nowhere.
Mm. Well, exactly. A few people talking about Tesla here before we go to the Theta and the other super chats coming in. Tesla did breach and close the gap, so we got through that gap. We were looking for that. Look, I think with Tesla, I mean, I'm hard pressed to really trade it. A few people saying they're going to take it long for the day. I get it. You take it long, and they're probably going to target this area here, which is the 670 zone. So $670. Test from the bottom up, and then they're probably going to look at this and say, okay, I believe the bears can come in right around this zone. And this is the area that we always are looking for. So, if we've got a $670 previous support, 671, we move into that level, 20 moving average here on the 2 hour. This is going to be the zone that the resistance happens and the bears, try to push that one through. That's for sure. That's the right area to be looking at. Let's now move over to Theta for a second. So this is a cryptocurrency. This is of request from H. Kelly, $5 Australian. Wants this T-Fuel, yeah. So Theta and T-Fuel. Yeah, this looks okay. Let's go to the 8 hour. Doing the right things. Base formation. Closure above the 20 on the 8 hour is about to happen. I don't really think that with crypto, you necessarily, you do want to look at these smaller ones, but you need to understand what really the play is on Ethereum, what really the play is on Bitcoin. And when we get that, when we know what those two are, and we see that Ethereum breach, what do I expect? I expect this thing to breach at a very, very similar time. It is a solid setup, but Ethereum must be coming with you, in my opinion, to get that one through. Now, is T-Fuel something else? I can't remember. T-Fuel, Theta Fuel. That doesn't look as good.
No.
That looks disgusting compared to the other one. Is this the fuel it makes? I think it is. Downward trend line. Maybe even if you... Because that doji here, Ty... Not that's great, but... Maybe even if this broke and then you saw that break, the other one's breaking at the same time, it does give me more positive feelings about this. Yep. But that's
got a bit of work. It's got a bit of work to do, this one, doesn't it? I mean, it's doing the right things, but yeah, it's got a lot in front of it. A lot of problems in front of it.
Eka Aurora super chatted $2 Australian. TA on SFIX. Stitch Fix. Footwear retail. Huh. I don't think I've ever looked at this stock. How big is this? 6.7 billion. So it's decent, but it's definitely not in my usual kind of scan list. Wow. I don't know. Why did it go up so much over here? What is this? It went crazy and then busted down. I don't know I have no idea why it went there. Maybe it sold those Yeezy flips. What are they called? Yeezy slides. That's the one. You seen these $600 slides, Ty? Yeah, they're like ugly orange shoes that people buy. Maybe someone out there has them. And they pay $600. They're basically Crocs.
I've seen... For the record, I've seen Thomas's $700 slippers. They are a thing. I know. I know they were joking about it yesterday on the stream, but he's got $700 slippers.
I wouldn't buy $700 slippers, but you know what? I've seen them.
I'm being absolutely burnt by Darth Sidious. He's even posted about my 5 o'clock shadow on my YouTube debut. I tell you what, you just wait. You're going to cop it, Darth.
All right. Sid's been quiet recently because his GameStop's not working out for him at the moment. Is that right, Sid? Is that right? Or you're not in GameStop no more? I'm not sure. Yeah, with SFIX, look, good day yesterday. I'm probably waiting for it to get above here. The good thing is you got higher lows, 20 moving average daily. this is really the only way I can look at it. And I don't know how it got up there or anything like that, but it does make sense that this is an incredibly important zone because firstly, daily rejected, daily failed, support, resistance. You know what? We need breach. We need movement through. Breach, close, and then hopefully that's the level. I would have that as the zone, 64.50.
And it's probably the only technical you can really go on this, isn't it? Like you've got, there's definitely a role reversal zone there that can be traded if it gets there. The 20's holding up, but yeah, it's going to be, I think it's one of those ones where you have to wait. I don't know if I want to preempt this one.
My God, Sid is ruthless. All right, do you want to read it? Or are we just going to ignore it? What are we doing? Darth Sidious, $5. Super chat. Come on, Ty. This is your YouTube debut and your 5 o'clock shadow is settling in. This is what he says. Use this towards a proper shave. DollarShaveClub.com. Mate. DollarShaveClub.com. Not sponsored. Is that the thing? Or actually, no, it's not even Dollar Shave Club anymore. Thank you very much, Darth Sidious. He's brutal. Don't worry, he attacks me all the time. John S. Super chatted $5. Check out TMF. Bought $22 calls with May expirations, which I exercised. June, July, August, and January expirations. My goodness, it's like a you just bought every one of them, John. Holds 125 calls in total. By the way, what greater time, Tyrone? I think we need to do this. Because you know what? The market's kind of settling in. It's going to get very, 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 very active, I think, in the next couple of weeks when we see, hopefully, that bear start to show its head. We've got to talk about options. We're going to do an option extravaganza when Tyrone next comes in. Because you know what? Ty is a beast at options. And I think it's time we get into some options extravaganza. I know you guys wanted that. So TMF, 20 years. Options. And you got $22 calls with May expirations, which I exercised. Fair enough. June, July, August, and January expirations holds 125 calls in total. Okay. Look, I like your play on TMF. You obviously bought it down here at 22, which I think is a calculated decision. I think a lot of people, this is 20-year bonds, by the way, would have been buying it right around this 24.70 zone. This is a sweet play. Trough, peak, higher trough, higher peak on the higher time frames. And, you know, bonds tell us something about the market. And they're smart. Believe me. The bond people, the bond market generally predicts other things. You know, when you think about it, when did the bond market start running up? So the bonds go, look at this, 13th of Jan. Now, when did we find out about the pandemic? Supposedly about 15th of Jan. Is that right, Ty? 15th? I think it was.
I think that's when it got serious. Yeah.
Yeah, that's when it got serious. But then the market still didn't care. Look at what happened with the bonds. They were like, it went crazy. And it went way earlier than the market actually got flogged. So it was very interesting to see. And then, of course, they were all over the place during the very hectic period over here. So the bond market had no idea. Clearly, it didn't know what it was doing. Then it falls off, which is pretty normal. We get that trough peak, higher trough, higher peak component, and the bond market's now starting to fire. And I said this to Ty. I said, you know, I think the bond market might actually have, and this is a 3x yield, so it's not going to be as good. The bond market might actually have a better return in it than the S&P 500 over a short period, and I think it could. Look, this thing still has room in it. If you look at the actual 20-year itself, so if you load up the 20-year and look at TLT here for a second, you'll notice that it's coming into really the resistance. So my thought process was get into this zone, get into the daily 200, and then that would be where it kind of triggers off. And you know what? It's done it in 2 or 3 days. 2 or 3 days since I really started paying a lot of attention to it. Bang, 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 straight into there. You know, on the bond market, that's serious. That's 3%. It's not bad on bonds. Your thoughts about this level, daily 200, Ty?
Yeah, it's keen. It's definitely one to watch. It's been a good trade going up though, hasn't it? Damn.
Yeah, amazing. Sometimes bonds fire, and that's, you know, bond managers, if they were looking at this, they would have been waiting for this and been very, very tasty. It kind of shows us that money is starting to pull out a little bit in the market. And I expect kind of like a blow off here where, you know, this Nasdaq's running and maybe it gets ballistic and it goes like big day, and then all of a sudden, kind of comes off when it hits into the excess. So, yeah. That would be pretty exceptional. John S., good luck. You've got June, July, August, and January. Well, one thing about these is they tend to run hot if the market pulls back, and it's running into a market that's hot at this stage. So if we do see a market pullback, bonds usually present an okay opportunity. So good luck, John. That's our thoughts on it. We would love to see a daily 200 close above. Yep. Mike H, super chat at $4.99. Please look at SNES chart for me, Guy. It's birth control for rats, by the way.
What?
I don't know. Let's have a look at SNES. Supposedly we have a rat outbreak in Sydney. Well, this is a really bad rat company, if that's what it is. Jeez. It's a biotechnology company, and it kind of looks bad. Wow. I don't get this chart. Do you like that, Chai? Do you like that?
That's tough, man.
Yeah, that's tough.
Damn. Oh, what do you do with that? Jesus.
I guess you hope and pray that if it breaches 190, that you can go to $3, and then you go pumpy dumpy and get the hell out of it.
I mean, it could. I mean, the only thing you could argue is it must be a very, very strong, obviously a very strong support. I don't know why that is, but it's there. And I guess if you were gonna, with the right risk management, of course, you've got a very logical target. I guess. That's a tough one though. Like far out. Like it's.
Yeah,
I know what I'd be doing if I was forced to trade and it was the only thing left in the world to trade.
Mm-hmm.
I know exactly what I'd be doing. I mean, that's pretty obvious. But, I think you just have
to. I mean, look, you look at this and you go, "Wow." I'm going to go with 190 plus closure. We hope for the pumpy dumpy there, Mike. Good luck.
But look, keep it. You know what? When you're trying to work something out, go simple, right? You're at support. You want a lightning bolt. Get the lightning bolt on the weekly and aim for $3. Bang! That's all you have to do there. Like you've nearly got it. I mean, it's not far off getting the lightning bolt. Wait for a weekly. I wouldn't. Here's a rule. Here's a rule for everyone. We talk about lightning bolts a lot. The rule that you want to follow on lightning bolts is the more risque the trade is, and this falls into that category, the bigger the time frame you want the lightning bolt on. Okay, because that means there's a lot more considered market action to actually highlight what you want to see. So you want to see a lightning bolt on a weekly on that. If you get that off the support level, the $3 is the logical target. But I think you need to wait for a weekly lightning bolt. That's how I play that one.
Yeah, I agree. You need all of everything you can have in terms of lightning bolt action, and you've got to be very, very careful. And you need to know what you're getting into. Blue Maserati coming in with a $5 super chat tied. Hi Tom, can you check out Win Vegas reopening play? Understood. Should crush the earnings expectations on 2nd of August. I thought we would have bounced by now. I think there's a common misconception between earnings and what the market really expects. So this is Win. I believe this is the correct one. Yeah, casino gaming. And the market already has been like, woohoo, we're on a sugar rush. It already is predicting that everything's glorious. All right. And the problem that we're having is Vegas doing well? I would say yes. Is there a lot of movement going into that kind of market at this stage? Again, I would say, there's a huge amount of money being made there. It's on the support. The 50 exponential is right here on the weekly. This is the level that it has to hold for you and bounce through. If you're wondering where it's going to bounce, it can only be there. That's a bad daily close. I feel like it packed in price like it was going to be great. It is great, but then the market's like, haha, we tricked you. Ty, your thoughts? I mean, this is like the smoke and mirrors that happens all the time into earnings.
I agree. I think that I'm a big fan of Win. Make no mistake. And I'm pretty sure, Tom, that when we announce our Vegas conference, this is going to take a big spike up this stock. So I think we'll
You
watch,
reckon?
we'll watch that
Is
down.
that because we're going to hit the blackjack
Yeah,
table?
we're gonna hit the blackjack table, and we're gonna be probably staying at one of their resorts in Vegas. But yeah, oh look, it's broken. I don't like that it's broken down.
No.
This is a do or die for this one. This role reversal is really, really important. I think the 200 is almost too far away. I think if it doesn't stop like right now, because it has got previous resistance, it's right at that zone like right now. It needs to turn around. Otherwise, I think you're right. The sugar rush. Look, you know what the problem is? The rot's setting in, and you're getting a lightning bolt to the downside on a weekly, and that's significant, right? That's not mucking around.
I don't think that Blue Maserati's idea is wrong. It's just the problem is the market had the foresight to already start running all these stocks in November. You know, it went from 74. It's ultimately what, a hotel, a casino. It requires like people to go there, spend money, and it does want. Ultimately, it would want money from overseas, and it's not getting that money. So I think it hit that resistance, which was the previous, 19, 20 high, and then now it's like tricked you guys, and that's why it's coming on down. The sugar rush is over. It's now it's do or die for this one. We'll keep going, pushing ahead here, Ty, because we've got some big donations coming in. I am aware that we need to start dialing in on this this market. Christopher Collins, very generous, $9.99. Tom, could you have a look at IDXX, please? IDXX, sure can. Let's have a look at IDX Laboratories. Wow, geez, nice, beautiful breach. Did we look at this with you a couple of? No. I don't even know if we've looked at this with you, but wow, that thing is just a beast. Let's just quickly do this one.
Boy.
Yeah, that's a trend.
It's sharp.
That's a trend like no other. Medical specialities. Yeah. Beautiful.
Look at the pullbacks to the 20 though, far out.
Yeah.
Like that's that's giving you some good entries.
I would say follow the leader on the 20 moving average, and then you know what, you get a break underneath the 50, it's probably all over, because what will happen at that point is you're going to get pullback, probably a little bit of a rally, lightning bolt down, and breach the 50. So watch this on the 1 hour. This thing's super strong. Let's go back to the weekly. We're in uncharted territory. Has it stopped before at hundreds? So I didn't really care there. No, it doesn't give it. It stopped around 400. So maybe it goes all the way to $700, but that's a complete guess. Follow the trend using the moving average. It's really the only way we can do that. Thank you very much, Christopher Collins. We've got Darren Jones, Ty, coming in with $10. Tried looking through the video, but looking for Bitcoin, but couldn't find it. Can you please do Bitcoin? We did do it. Yes, Bitcoin remains the exact same we've kind of been talking about. Ethereum is the play if it can get through and breach 390, close above there, 2390, 2400. I like Bitcoin from the perspective of all of these bullish wicks. I also think there's some weird Bitcoin conference. Am I right, guys, that there's some weird Bitcoin conference with like the Square guy and Elon Musk? I'm not going to say Jack Dorsey's name. Well, I said it, but the Square guy is what I'm going to say. Come on, Jack Dorsey. Bitcoin's not the only crypto out there. Here's all of our bullish rejections. This is a good sign because it shows that on the weekly at least, the buyer demand's there. And Nasty Whales, or maybe it's just you and me, I don't know who it is buying Bitcoin. Let's go down to the daily. Very undecided. Market has no idea what it wants to do. I'm going to go with 36,000 is the key critical zone. But because of the Ethereum move, if it does occur, this is actually a decent market at this stage. Let's go down to the 4 hour. 4 hour, people would bring it down to this resistance. They'd be looking for a 35,000 plus breach. So 35,000 leads to 36,000 on the day trade. 36,000 is the serious one. And that, of course, leads to 38K. And then after that, hopefully the 40 and so on and so forth. Thank you very much, Darren, and good luck with Bitcoin. At this stage, weekly is all important for making sure that the bears don't get control. Ulrich Nielsen, DKK $50. If AMC is in a bullish pennant, and say you follow trend line from lower wick on June 3rd to June 10th, the last hold/support is the 46 area. Am I off? Let's have a look at AMC for you. I kind of feel like AMC is really bad. I mentioned it in today's video. I guess it is really bad based on this pre-market. down 4.32%, 47.80. Look, I wouldn't really go with a pennant. Be careful of trend lines, is what I guess I'm going to say. And Ty, what are you drawing through? The 3rd and the 10th. So that'll be here, yeah? So you're saying like there. It's going to open even underneath that. Don't try to draw trend lines everywhere, would be what I'd say. Delete that and go with horizontals, because to me, it's all about the horizontals. Let's talk about the story here. We have a weakening series of rallies. We know that. We then come down and we have a rally that looks like a rally above the 20. We break underneath that yesterday, and when we go down onto the 1 hour, this thing looks absolutely horrendous. So actually, we'll go 2 hour. It basically says, hey, yeah, we're going to rally. We create a long leg indecision candle. We make a decision to go bearish, and by the end of the day, we close on the low. That looks like a bearish chart, Ty. I mean, that's bearish.
Yeah. It wouldn't be getting any of my longs. No, not on that chart.
Nope.
Yeah, you got a 2050 cross too, like far out. Yeah, dangerous.
Yeah,
dangerous.
It is dangerous, and if we take that,
I always say too. I think the thing you need to consider, and I think you're 100% right in the horizontal support and resistance. They're the ones that really matter. The problem with pennants and also sloping trend lines and resistance lines is that they are subjective. They definitely are.
Mm-hmm.
And the problem with that on it's not really a speculative stock, but AMC is not. It's not a big mainstream, billions and billions of dollars a day traded stock. So that makes those lines even more subjective. But what doesn't lie is horizontal support and resistance, and I think they're the ones that mean the most. So although it looks like a potential pennant, you got to be a little bit careful, I reckon. And you're 100% right. If you draw the horizontals, they just can't. There's just no subjectivity there. It's either support and resistance or it's not. And that makes a lot more sense. I think if you draw those lines and use them as your guide, I think that's probably the best bet with this one at the moment.
Yep, I agree with that. Big Dipper coming in, very good donation, timely here. $2, 10-year yield just fell below 1.3%. Thoughts? This thing is predicting, obviously, the FOMC meeting minutes. As we discussed on this channel, as we've been making videos about it, that particular jobs report, the market is preempting the fact that the Fed cannot raise rates. Now, that's obviously what the market's telling us right now. They're saying, haha, you can't raise rates. You think you make 850K jobs? Wrong areas, guys. And on top of that, employment rose. So because of these reasons, the market is clearly preempting it. The bond market is as well. I'm actually getting, to hit this so quickly is probably not ideal. I would have preferred that we were a bit slower about it and just gradually went up. But this is what we're talking about. FOMC, it's ahead of this. It's preempting it, and maybe it's going to be leading up to disappointment. Ty, your thoughts?
Yeah, when you see this, you can't help but think that it's going to be disappointment. It's just usually the way it plays out, isn't it?
Yeah, all this market's like, woohoo, we're so happy. And then it makes me think disappointment's coming.
Yeah, I think disappointment's on the way. And you know what? The market's probably, almost, I think the disappointment's on the way.
Mm-hmm.
A little bit of disappointment. Yeah, a little bit of disappointment.
All right, well, let's watch a few things into the open here. So we'll set up our Tesla, because you guys love Tesla in the morning. So we'll set that one up. We've obviously got our Amazon down here in the right-hand side. You know what? Because there's a few people asking about it, I'll chuck Square in there for the time being in the open, up 1%. And let's check around the markets here. What have we got going on? So we've got quite a lot of green and a bit of red. So yields, not good. Going down, bad for banks. So we've got JP Morgan down. We've got Goldman Sachs down. We've got obviously banks across the board down. That's probably going to also put pressure on the IWM. Let's have a look here at the pre-market on the green side. And low yields is good for things like tech stocks. Okta was mentioned before, so we'll have a look at that and see what the charts look like. CrowdStrike is unstoppable, 269. Oh, wow. That stock is it's a machine. And Coinbase with the biggest move here in the morning. Let's just quickly look at Okta. I want to watch Okta. So Okta. Ah, I see. Not bad. Yeah. You like that, Ty?
Ooh.
I like
I
that too.
do.
I
I've
do
got absolutely no idea what that is, but I like the tech on it. I like the technical analysis on it.
That's all that's important. We take the
What, is
bias
it,
out
what does
completely
it
when you
do?
don't know.
What does Okta do?
I don't know either. I don't particularly. I do not understand the fundamentals behind this. I know it's a hyper stock and that people love this thing a lot, but it's worth 33 billion.
That's nice. They're nice technicals though. Really nice.
Packaged software technology service, according to this, but I think it's something else. Anyway, this is a nice technical. We've got moving averages all behind 2050 cross to the daily upside. We've got the 200, and we've got the breach. Hopefully, this one can come through with the goods. So yeah, I quite like that closure. And of course, if that moves into something like the 280, 280-ish bracket, this is the target. So it's got lead. I don't mind this at all. Decent day on it yesterday.
Cybersecurity. Cool.
Is it another cybersecurity? Oh, that's right. It's not one that I like. I remember doing some diligence on it. But whatever. The charts are there. You know my two favorite cybersecurity plays.
Yep.
This baby.
One thing I like about technical analysis, guys, and Tom probably says the same thing. It doesn't matter what the symbol is, and it doesn't matter what the time frame is. Price action's price action, and I think that's probably the most important thing. And sometimes, I come on here and I see half the things that Tom's has put on I've never seen before in my life, unless I'm actually watching the stream. And half the time when I'm doing that, I'm actually chatting to Darth Sidious anyway, so I don't even see it. But I think it's important though that the technicals still hold up no matter what you're looking at. And I think that's probably key, and I think it's probably a really good lesson in itself that if you understand technical analysis and you see what the market and understand what the buyers and sellers are doing and the key levels, the symbol becomes almost secondary. And I think that helps take away a lot of bias as well. So I think it's really, really important to really focus sometimes on what price action is actually doing and put your bias away. And I know Tom finds that hard to do when he looks at the Starbucks chart. Actually, have you shown him NAB? Have you had a look at NAB recently?
Yeah, we looked at it yesterday.
Yeah.
We were talking about Wyckoff, yeah. So NAB's definitely one to the short side there. We'll just do QCOM here because we're going to dial in on this market. So we've got QCOM. People are wondering what our thoughts are here. I actually still think it looks totally fine. I mean, basically you've got your movement little coil above getting ready. We know that if it breaches this level, hopefully it can start doing some good numbers. And it's up 0.43 in the pre-market, which is not strong, but I would hope it starts to come through and maybe gets like a 1% through it or something like that through the early morning session. What are we looking for? About a 143 to close plus. That would be sweet. That would be sweet. Graham Newland said large companies all use the Okta. Yeah. I think I can't remember what it was, but I followed a few people on Twitter and they do some pretty good breakdowns. And for me, Cloudflare and CrowdStrike were the two best. There was something about Okta. It was a while ago now. But yeah, Okta certainly from a technical analysis standpoint is firing up here. Let's go through some of our favorites. AMD continues to find bullish pressure here. We did our Starbucks before. We have done Square quite a few times. Let's have a look at Enphase. So Enphase still firing, hopefully towards 200, 220. Longer term, got CRISPR, a bit of a pullback here on the biotech recently. Didn't quite fill the gap to the downside. I still think, even though I love CRISPR and I love the CRISPR style bio stocks, I feel like some of them ran too much. So that definitely is a little bit of riskiness there. Disney, completely useless at this stage. Though I know that ARK purchased some of this yesterday. That being said, I'm not thinking it looks that great. What about TDOC? What's TDOC doing? Become disinterested in TDOC after it hit our 170. Yeah, I mean, that's okay. It's okay. I want it to get above this trend line before it keeps going. Uber looks really sweet if it can break above 52. Facebook, nothing there at this stage other than it's a big FANG stock that could fire. What else do we have? I'm probably going to have to delete a bunch of these because I don't think they're that strong. Let's go over to the community here. Esbergos says QCOM has moved pretty nicely lately. Yeah, QCOM's been pretty good. Big Dipper says Nvidia. I don't know what to say about Nvidia. This thing is a beast. And I have it on good. For people waiting for 3080s out there, all right? Don't buy them tomorrow. Don't buy them over the next week. I am pretty damn sure that 3080s are coming into big supply due to the crypto crash that happened. And on top of that, they're going to get cheaper. So if you want the 3080, guys, there are more coming in. I am very positive there are more coming in. Watch this space. Every time I see this chart, all I can think of is that it's going to be a buy the rumor, sell the fact into the split tie. So this stock got split. Like, basically there's the S there. And it's just gone ballistic. It did nothing for a long time. And then it's gone ballistic recently. Take a look at this. So do you do you think that this deserves to be putting on this much? I'll read out the market capitalization here. $515 billion. That's a lot for admittedly AI in the future technology. And they make graphics cards and they make a bunch of, shields and things. So realistically, that is a lot of money. It's put on $250 billion in like a month and a half. And it's following the 2-hour 20 pretty damn closely. I say buy the rumor, sell the fact.
Yep. I agree. Damn, if you've traded, it's awesome. But boy, you got some good opportunities to get in too. Yeah. Giving them to you. And I guess, if you're going to do it, you just got to do it with caution now and, effectively wait for that 20 to break.
Ray Lim says, should we now buy a put on NVIDIA? Well, that's up to you. You have to give it time. Basically, what you would do is a put is more of an educated guess on the fact that you don't think it can hold up. If you're looking at 20th of July as the split level, or whatever this is, I don't know where the split is, somewhere around here, and you believe it's a buy the rumor, sell the fact, can you give the put the time? It's a complete guess. But you're basically, that's the problem with it. It's complete guess, but it is based on some things. Apple. Yeah.
I'll tell you what, I will say about that, when you are looking at, say, buying a put, the thing about options is you do need timing on your side, obviously, because there's an expiry date. So aside from the fact that you've got to get the direction right, you also need timing, right? So the problem with a market that doesn't show any sign of stopping, like this one does at this stage, is that it doesn't really give you an indication of how much time you need to set that put up, right? So if you were looking, say you made a series of lower highs and lower lows, you're getting a bit of an idea as to how long you need to put the put out for, because you're getting a far better idea of the movement has already started. But the problem with this is that you haven't really got any clue at all, except the fact that it's probably over what it should be when it could turn around. And I've seen things go a lot longer than they probably should and stay up there for a lot longer than they should. So what I would do, I'm always conscious that if I'm going to actually buy a put, I will wait for the reversal to start first. And yes, you're going to give away a little bit of premium. You'll have to pay probably a little bit more because it's already starting to fall. But at least you've got a bit of market direction. You've got to get the timing right, and you've got to use technical analysis to do that. And at this point in time, TA is not telling us to go short on this, and that's the problem. You haven't got that advantage of knowing how far that put has to be out, if that makes sense.
We've also seen some things go massive distances. E. Elliott here has a $952 target on NVIDIA before buying a put. Wow, that's a big target. I just say that is a very interesting point. But as Tyron says, you've got to put in the work. Nick Lim, Singapore, $5.98. MP Materials chart, please. Thanks for your daily wisdom. Let's have a look at MP Materials Corp. Okay, nice. This is a mineral company. Looks like it's kind of had a nice little rally on it after initial sell-off. Let's go over here. Oh, nice. That's actually a very decent closure. So you have a full rejection weekly terrible looking candle, and then you've just put that to rest by basically closing a bullish candle above it. That's pretty nice. We look at this chart. Do I love it? No. Do I think it's doing the right types of things? Sure. But I want it to get even above. So where I think it'll start firing is if it closes just above there. And that price is 38.84. So you get a break, close above 38.84, then you start talking about letting the wings fly up to the 46 kind of level. But those last two candles,
patience. Need a bit of
I'm
patience.
pretty sure I'm probably already in it, but yeah, that's where I believe the participation will happen.
Yeah, if you're in it, it's all good. But I mean, if you're actually looking for the entry, I think you want to wait for that bit of a move to really look. You know what? When you're patient and you have to wait a little bit longer, yes, you're going to miss out on some moves, and yeah, you're not going to get every single move. Sometimes they just go too fast. But at the end of the day, consistency is what you're after here, right? And if you're taking the right opportunities most of the time, you're going to end up well in front. And I think that comes with patience. I know patience is an annoying word. People hate using patience. People just want to trade, and I can understand that, but it is probably your biggest virtue.
Yeah, patience is the virtue here and everything. So I guess we'll just quickly go over to our synopsis on the markets. I guess Kyron and I are probably in agreement here that we believe that the market's going to fire into the Fed. Your guess is as good as ours on what the Fed's going to say. I would guess that they can't taper, and the market is already putting in that good word for it. They can't even talk about how great the economy is really that much today. They're just going to be like, it's strengthening, it's all good. But, they won't be able to do enough, and therefore the market's like, haha, you can't do anything. But if you're putting on 0.7% on the tech ahead of the Fed, unless the Fed come out and basically say unequivocally, hey, we're going to wait for quite a long time here to change interest rates, blah, 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 the market might be overreaching what the reality is. And I think that's the big concern here for most people. I'm not overly worried about it, but that's I think, if I was going to go with, do I think this rally can keep up? If I was coin flipping it, I would think that the Fed will, as soon as the Fed talk about anything, it'll go down. That's what I thought. But what do we know about that one? I'm still optimistic, and I'm optimistic till our trend lines get hit.
Yep, 100%.
All right, 3 minutes off here, Ty. US 100, if you're following it on the daily, 2 hour 50 exponential seems to be a good little level here for picking it up. US 30 is actually a market I will be looking at fairly closely over the next couple of days/weeks. We're going to be looking at this 34.9 level, waiting for a breach out above that, and then possibly some nice day trades through that. US 500. Looking to go to the new all-time peak. Remember, 2 p.m. today, New York time, is going to be the FOMC meeting minutes. 4 hour 20 is hit twice. Let's have a look at the SPX, though, the real market here. Let's go down to a 1 hour. And, I guess for me, it's just been the 1 hour 20. It came down to the 1 hour 20 and did give you an opportunity yesterday to get involved in it. If you're wondering, and you get scared sometimes, when you get an engulfing candle at around the same level that you've been targeting before, this is where a lot of people will enter in. And of course, that's going to pay off a little bit today for the day trade and in the last couple of hours. So the engulf here is the key. Wait for the engulf. You can get involved then, and you can day trade or scalp it. And maybe we'll do some, dialing in on the smaller time frames and looking for, great trades. But I don't mind that. And yeah, I mean, other than that one, these are getting pretty aggressive. All right, let's dial all of these in. You guys get to pick. So chat, let us know right now, which one do you think you want to watch? We have only 30 seconds for you to pick. So I'm going to guess. We've got Tesla set. We've got Square set, 249. We've got Tesla set for 663. 10-year yield, that's right, down to 1.33 here this morning. And I will put on Amazon because it was firing super hard yesterday. 3717 in the pre. Here we go, guys. I'm going to open up the bell. Congratulations for making it through to the Wednesday market open. That's a few seconds early there, but you guys will see it about the right time. It's all happening. Amazon opens at 37.20. People want to watch Barber? Yeah, actually, Barber's probably fair. Let's see where Barber did open up. Barber. QCOM opens 0.6% up. Not bad. Facebook 0.6. Okta 1.21. Nice. Uber, nothing much, but we'll watch that one when it comes through. Barber down 0.02. Strange. That was up in the pre-market. TXG up 1%. How's our Square going? 1.34. Zillow 1.1. And then Apple 1.13. Let's go over to the Webull. I want to see all the stocks. Let's see all the stocks. Okay, Shopify actually is led. CrowdStrike, Twilio, Snowflake. Okay, Snowflake coming off that support. Enphase Energy, Square. They're all up there. Banks will be the worst. Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan. They don't do well off, all of these low rates over the 10 years. Let's go to the AMC down 4.27. Unfortunately, breach underneath that 52 was too much for it. Next target, I guess, $40, guys. Palantir down 2.69. That's unfortunate. I kind of feel like if it can't hold 24 plus, it's going to just keep getting thrashed, but hopefully it does hold it and bounce through. And then the rest of the stocks aren't down too much. The big green here is Clove and Peloton. Where's Peloton? 124. Wow, Peloton came back really strong. So the market did start okay, and the futures seem to be correct. So, yeah, there's not too... I think all these biotechs, people are just going to take profit for a few days. And there's not that much that I feel like is like, wow, what an opportunity ahead of the FOMC. Most of the short potential stocks are down. Interesting start.
Probably expected, really. It's probably like with such an important announcement coming out, you can probably see why a lot of these are a little bit stagnant. I think it'll be different in a couple of hours.
I feel like it's hard to hold such a big promise when you open the fake market futures at 0.7 tie, and then Wall Street come in and then they say it's fake market futures, Mark. There's nothing good about the futures market except for you can trade it. Other than that, there's nothing. There's no good signals that come from the futures market. It's usually some fake market. So we open up at 0.6, as you said. Can we really go any more bullish into the FOMC? I don't think so. Not with the rallies we've seen come out of the tech stocks.
Yeah, 100%.
A few people asking about Tesla's open. Any thoughts on it? Not really. I mean, you load up Tesla at 661. It opens, barely up here. And then I'm looking for it to go to 670 and test from the bottom up. And this to be the war of the bulls and the bears. So there's not too much to go through here. I mean, Tesla, if you would go with which way does it look at the moment, you'd have to say bearish. And if it gets above 700, you know what? I turned super bullish and I'm all on board the train. And in fact, I've got alerts set at $700. And
got some serious trouble in front of it right now.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think that probably concludes opening up here, Ty. Effectively, we don't know until FOMC. I'd like to remind everyone to subscribe. Make sure you watch tomorrow's video. We'll be recapping whatever the hell they say, which I'm sure won't be that interesting, but we should see price action movement, and hopefully we can start prepping some longer term trades. I'm starting to just get a little bit cautious in the market, and I just hope that all our trend lines hit and that we can be positioned the best together, because it's going to be awesome.
Yeah, let's hope they hit first so we can get a chance to actually short the hell out of it when they get there. Well, we have been live for literally 4 hours, guys. So this is we're winding it up because we have literally been live since 8 p.m. Melbourne time. So thank you very, very much for joining us.
Jack Dorsey.
Yeah, had a lot of fun. being on, and yeah, maybe Thomas will let me on again, especially if we can fix the microphone issue.
We got to do well. First, we've got to fix the audio option, which I'll fix tomorrow. But yeah, we got to do an option special extravaganza, Ty. Absolutely, we got to do an option one, and yeah, you got to tell everyone, the superpowers that you have, because Ty's got some wisdom out there, guys, and I'm telling you, you need to hear it. So make sure you subscribe, because it's going to be hopefully a weekly thing that we run here. If you also want to come check us out, we do run webinars over on FX Evolution Live. I will put the link in the Discord community, and we do that once a week on Wednesdays, which is really, really awesome. And we've got that there. But yeah, Square is firing early here, guys. It's all about, not so much Square. You need, look at Ethereum. Wow. It's like little coil, little nasty coil. I get excited about that. That's cool.
Yeah, I hear you.
Okay. All right, everybody. Catch you tomorrow for another live stream, 1.5 hours before New York Open, or